I hate Fridays. Bet you never hear somebody say that, but it's different in the day trading world, so stick around. Welcome to Framework Fortune. I'm your host, Ben. Today was day 5 of the Small Account Day Trading Challenge. If you want to follow the challenge, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Fridays are always the hardest day to trade on because volume is lacking in the market. Swing traders are getting out of positions. They don't like to hold trades over the weekend. So there's a lot of selling volume and it's really hard to predict what stocks are going to do. So I deviate from my regular strategy to try out a bounce play strategy to see if I can get a small win. Let's dive in and find out what happens. It is Friday, and it is the toughest day of the week to try to day trade. Fridays are always tough because there's a lot of selling volume. You have swing traders getting out of their positions because they don't want to hold over the weekend. You have day traders who's already made their profit for the week, so they're done and they're going on vacation or whatever they do on the weekends. So volume's always weird on Fridays. And I may be looking to use a different strategy that I use sometimes on Fridays. And it's a very simple strategy and it's just a bounce play. Look for a stock with a lot of volume and look for it to have several red candles in a row and then buy very low and wait for a little bounce. Just by looking at the 10% NASDAQ gainer list, though, I can tell the penny stock world is not great right now. There's not good market conditions because there's a lot of large cap stocks on there and very few penny stocks. But we just saw XNet go pretty crazy, and XNet's still going crazy. Let's go back to XNet. Look at this. Wow. What a run on a Friday. The bounce off of the trend line, and it just kept going. And it's still going. Yeah, I missed this one for sure, but I mean, how... I just did not expect that big of a move, especially with that 200-day moving average there. $4 is going to hold up as resistance on this play. But that's the thing with Fridays. Fridays are unpredictable. And that's why I'm always hesitant to trade on Fridays, because all morning it's looked like there's not much volume and then nothing was going to pop in the penny stock world, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, XNet's been on the slow climb on this trend line, and then it just bounced off the trend line. Like if it breaks $4, I will truly be shocked, because I mean, we've got a lot of green candles straight up here, not really any pullback because these little red candles are pretty little, so that's not much of a pullback. There's a nice pullback. Yeah, I was gonna say XNet, don't you be breaking through $4 and making me look like a crazy person. So maybe we can look for a pullback to the trend line if it slowly comes back down again. But that was a big bounce off the trend line. It was way bigger than I was expecting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 red candles in a row now. What my thought is, maybe putting a limit order in at 350 at this trend line. But if it bounces here, then we may be a little late. That's what I was looking for, a little bounce, just a little quick bounce like that. I was just really wanting one more candle, one more red candle to make it closer to that trend line. It's not quite coming down to where I want it to. I want it to get a little bit under 360, but this is going to be kind of right at that trend line, and we're going to look for a little bounce back up to 380 if I can get filled here. We also don't want to take a loss, so we need this to hold up. Ooh, we need this to come right back up. That was a big drop. This trend line needs to hold here. I'm in this play now, but came back down a little bit harder than I was expecting on that trend line. We do not want it to crack anymore. Trying to give it a bit of a chance. I want to see if 350 holds up. I knew 350 was where I should have been trying to get in at. It could just be a trend line test and we could come back up. So that's what I want to make sure before I jump out. I don't want to jump out and take a loss just to take a loss. That's a little sketchy. I didn't get as good as entry as I wanted. Originally I said that 350, but I kept seeing 360 holding up, so I didn't think it was going to crack that low. So I thought 362 was going to be a good entry. It's kind of got me in a bad spot, because if this trend line breaks, I'm going to be taking a decent sized loss on this small account. We had a pretty good dip down from this initial run, so now we're just looking for another little run back up, just a little run to like 375, 380. That's where I'm going to sell. So we're back up to my entry. That makes me feel a little better. Just give me a little 15 cents, XNet. I'm not asking for much. A little bit more of a bounce, just a little bit more. Let's see, at 375. That's where I want to sell at. Ooh, a lot of red, a lot of red. And I may have to get out here. 360 to hold. I wanted a quick bounce. We got a quick little bounce, but it didn't quite bounce as high as I was expecting. Big buyer at 357. See if it holds up. Right on the trend line. Okay, so that held up for a little bit. Okay. Finger on the trigger again here. Man, it is testing this trend line so hard, which is really nerve-wracking because when it starts testing like that, you're in a sketchy area where it could crack at any moment. A lot of selling coming in. It keeps testing this 357, and 357 didn't hold up. Oh, big drop there. Like, honestly, I should have locked in right here at that 370. That was the bounce play I was looking for. It just didn't quite bounce as hard as I was expecting. I mean, I was only up like 20 bucks, which I should have just locked that in. It would have been fine. 20 bucks on a Friday, whatever. But 370 is not really resistance. Like 375 would be more of resistance. So that's why I'm looking for that 375 move. I'm debating getting out here just to break even. I'm trying to give it a chance to see if we get that bounce. Trend line is almost cracked, really. And the VWAP is all the way back down to that 341 area. So we had that support earlier, the 360 though, that was holding up. And now it's kind of acting as resistance, and 350 is kind of support. So that's not really good. Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to get out because this trend line is not holding up. So we are still above the VWAP, but I don't want to be in this with the VWAP as support down at 340. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna take a small loss. I'm okay with that, but it's getting too sketchy. So yeah, a little $11 loss, and I might have got out of there just in time. But yeah, the simple bounce play worked. We got these red candles here. I got in there, well, right here, 362, and then we had this nice little tiny move, little 10-cent quick move. I should have locked in, but like I said, I was really expecting it to at least go 5 more cents to 375. That wasn't that much of a stretch, and it didn't quite do it. But that's the thing with trading on Fridays. You never know what's going to happen, and I got out just in time on this play. So, cut my loss quick, and then started to test that 350 support. So here you can see buy 250 shares of XNet at 362, 11:12 a.m., then sell 100 and sell 150 at 357, 11:30 a.m. for a small loss. Well, essentially the bounce strategy did work. I just got greedy and didn't lock in the profit when I had it. Fridays are always the toughest day to trade, and if you're going to trade on Fridays, I really suggest using bounce play strategies and locking in your profits very quick. Well, that's it, guys, for day 5. If you missed any videos, click the playlist here. I'm your host, Ben, and you've been watching Framework Fortune.